I get in this habit of muting that mic before I go live and forgetting to unmute it when I go live. FYI to the streamer, unmute your mic. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel, Yankees Outdoor Adventures. I am Maèxelawèn Osapèkwinùnt. You know me as Yankee. Today scheduled is a show, Outdoor Enthusiast Live. Outdoor Enthusiast Live is a series where I just ask questions to different outdoor enthusiasts to give you an opportunity to get to know them better, get to know their social networks better, as well as their platforms here on YouTube. Excuse me. However, today's guest, I'm pretty sure will probably be in here directly, but he's not here yet. That's okay. The show goes on regardless. So give me an opportunity to say, before I get too far into this show, viewpoints and interest observed in this show, opinions expressed in this show may or may not be the same as YouTube or our advertisers. And also, on that note, guests that we have on this show may or may not have the same opinions and viewpoints as Yankees Outdoor Adventures. I consider myself equal opportunity and give everyone a chance that decides to take the chance. How do you take the chance? Well, if you want a little bit of exposure for your show, all you got to do is reach out to me, get a hold of me. There's all kinds of contact information in my About section. Email isn't always the best bet with me. A lot of times it's better to go with the Twitter or the Instagram. But if you don't have that, you can do the email. If you don't hear from me in email, send me more than one. Start putting stuff in your subject line so it sticks out to me and you don't get lost with the over 500 spam mails I get a day. So I see our guest is in the waiting room, and we'll get to him in one moment. I see we got Mountain Coal Forge and Gaming. Welcome, my friend. It is a pleasure to have you here. As you come in, as anyone comes in, please, as always, share out the stream. And there is a link in the description of this video. That is our guest for today. So feel free to take a moment and get to know our guest as well. Colin, Julian, what is going on, brother? It is awesome to see you here, man. It's an honor. And it not maybe others may not see it that way because they'll say, well, why is Colin an honor? And I got to explain myself. It is truly an honor to have you here because you, sir, are one of my first subscribers. Well under I know I had well under 200 subs when I met you. So to me, it is a great honor to have any of the original channels that have encouraged me to do more, to show up. And again, here, Joy Stewart also, that family community, it's always awesome. Guys, I got my guest in the waiting room. Let me go ahead and pull him on screen here. And boom! I got you on there. Hello, I usually have to talk with you guys off camera before I get on the show to fit for the show. Okay, but that didn't happen today. So, but it is Caribou Country Outdoors is the name of the channel, correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And what do you want me to refer to you as today, man? This is something I probably would have asked you prior to the show, but.
For the most part, everyone calls me by my name, Troy.
Okay, so awesome, Troy, and welcome to the show. Troy, here in this show, man, I just kind of fire out a bunch of different questions, give people an opportunity to get to know you a little better, know your social networks a little better. So I do have your channel link in the description. Are there any other social media platforms you want to make mention to that people can find you on?
Yeah, basically, I'm just on Facebook and Twitter right now, as well as YouTube.
Okay, is that all linked in your About section?
The Twitter is in my About section. My Facebook link is broken right now. I got to fix that.
All right. So what do you go by on Facebook, in case anybody's interested?
Just my name. Not Caribou Country, my actual name.
Very, very excited. Wait a minute, I'm trying to read that, man. I got such itty bitty print here.
Hi, Joy.
Well, brother, you're always welcome at the show, and it's my honor to shout you guys out when you come in. And hello, Joy. It's also awesome to have you here. Uh, so, Troy, what would you say your favorite outdoor activity is?
Honestly, just going out for a hike and just sitting out there and enjoying nature. Like,
Right on.
there's
Now, would you
not,
say? Go ahead.
nothing beats being just out there and with silence and just listening to what's going on around.
I would have to agree, 100%. Uh, and Half Pace, welcome, Half Pace Outdoors Homestead. It is great to have you here. And if
Hey,
anybody has any questions for Troy themselves that they want to throw in here, don't hesitate to do that. And we're just going to go ahead and continue. Troy, what got you into the outdoors? Is this something you've done your whole life or something new to you?
no, this has actually been my whole life. As my family, we grew up out in basically the middle of nowhere, and the outdoors has always been our life. We've always hunted, fished, camped, you name it. That's what I grew up doing. I love it.
Awesome, awesome. And I agree with you. I just love being out there, and it's just something I've always done as well. Do you have a favorite? Now, if you don't mind, do you mind telling people where you're located, at least in a rough geological area?
Yeah, we're about northern BC in Canada. So
Okay, so you're up northern Canada. Is there a particular place that you like the regular that maybe you might want to turn on to the viewers and say, hey, check this place out? Is there anything like that?
honestly, around where I live, everywhere around here there's lakes, and within 20 minutes of my house, there's probably about 50, 60 different lakes. So anywhere
Awesome. Yeah,
around here is amazing out here.
awesome. That is awesome. Uh, what would you say is the most enjoyable weather for you when you're out? Do you prefer a time of the year over another?
Yeah, I prefer winter time. I'm not a big fan of the heat. So me and summer don't get along very well.
All right. Well, hey, and I'm complete opposite, man. It's never hot enough for me. In fact, I always tell people I'm prepping for my afterlife. Uh, on that note, are you spiritual or religious or neither?
I wouldn't really say I'm much of either.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a, a, a philosophy of life that you try to go by?
I just pretty much live day to day, hope for the best. Shit comes at you from left, right, and center, so you never know when it's going to happen.
I I can understand that too. I think a lot of times it's how we handle the obstacles we get more than it is anything to do with the actual obstacle.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
uh, if you had the opportunity, which you do, to give a message to your great great grandchild, what would it be?
Oh man, that's quite the question.
If it's too out there for you, you could always pass on a question.
I'll have to
Nothing
get
is
back on
forced.
that one. I'll have
You
to
want to
think
get back
about that
on
one.
that one? That's all right. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Uh, Save. I'm pulling up my. So when uh, when you do your outdoor activities, has there ever been one that sticks out in your mind as one of the most challenging you've ever been on?
Yes, there was
Would you?
time where my brother and we actually went out. This was before we started doing YouTube, but we went out and we were kayak fishing. And when we ended up having a camp set up on this little island on this lake. So as we were coming back in to where our camp was, I had some of my gear on my kayak, and I ended up getting tipped over and didn't really have any more clothes that I brought with me. It was just basically we were going out for an overnight and doing some fishing. So I ended up having to sit on the shore in my ginch while I dried all my clothes off in the and later that day when we spent the night there, it poured rain.
Oh,
So the next morning when we woke up, I was soaked again. We didn't really have much of nothing. We had a crappy little tent that the two of us slept in. It was quite the experience.
I can imagine. And for anyone watching that's curious, uh, when you get wet and your clothes soaked to the bone, and you're in a cold temperature, you really have no choice for your own survival's sake but to get out of those clothes. And yeah, that you would think that maybe sit there naked is worse, but believe me, it's not. Uh, it's actually a necessity to keep from dealing with hypothermia.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
uh, and is there anyone that currently inspires you to do the adventures that you do? Do you kind of credit
Yeah,
anyone?
actually, there's one of them in the chat right now, Half Pace Outdoors. It's a great channel if you guys haven't checked him out.
Awesome.
The other one is the Huntsman. I've been following the Huntsman for a long time. He's basically, when I started watching him, it watching him, he's is like I am. So he's a real person, no
Well,
bullshit.
and the encouragement that we get from the other YouTubers is big, and I'm gonna guess is that part of what drove you to do a channel? Is it from these people? Is that what, or
Honestly, how my channel started was I was drinking some beers one night and was searching for like budget outdoors gear. That's another thing I'm going to mention here in a sec. But yeah, that's basically how it started. I was like, well, let's start a YouTube channel and see where it goes. And here I am 3 years later.
all right, all right. Uh, on the well, go ahead. You were wanting to elaborate something about the budget. Go ahead.
So yeah, I my channel actually used to be called Budget Outdoors and Survival.
Okay.
Um, so anyone who goes on my channel right now, it may look like a mess. I got half the videos that got Budget Outdoors and Survival, and then everything that's new is Caribou Country Outdoors. There's a personal reason behind changing that name. Just a bunch of stuff went down, so I didn't want to be associated with that name anymore.
Okay.
And it's just hard. Well, Yankee, you do everything from your phone as well. It's really hard to do all your channel work. So I got to go back and redo all my thumbnails and my intros for all my old movies. So they're not saying welcome to Budget Outdoors and Survival.
Right. Right. And for anyone else that's YouTubers, and we have a lot of YouTubers that are community members and that'll be watching the video regardless. So I think it's really good to say that there are some good apps though that'll help you with. I don't know what you personally use on your phone for thumbnails. I use one called Thumbnail Maker. I actually got a video about it somewhere in my crazy arsenal of videos. But when you use that and you use the Creator Studio, it simplifies a little bit, but not a lot, because
No.
Creator Studio has a lot of hangups and a lot of glitches um, that if you didn't have an actual PC to fix, you end up going without. And like end cards, slide cards. You guys, when you get to watch one of my videos and you see slide cards and end cards, that means that I actually got a moment on a PC with
Yeah.
that video, and that's what it means. And then you'll see how most of my videos they don't have that type of stuff. Well, that's because I'm just 100% cell phone. I haven't even looked at it on a computer. So there's a lot of hangups and difficulties to that, but kudos to the cell phone creators, because it really opened up the door to what we can do, giving us all this power right here, in a small little device. When's the baby coming?
We actually have an appointment tomorrow. It's probably going to be a C-section. So we have an appointment tomorrow to basically set the dates and stuff. So within the next couple of weeks.
Have you ever gone through a C-section?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Was it emergency or was it scheduled?
No, she had twins, the first two. And I think one of them was sitting breech. It wasn't flipping, so they had to. And then the reason they're doing the C-section for this one is same thing. The baby's sitting breech. But,
right. So to avoid putting her through the stress of labor and all. My point with all that craziness, and I know, yeah, guys, this has nothing to do with outdoors, but it has to do with life without a doubt. I too am a father. First C-section was an emergency, and they allowed my wife to stress several hours of labor prior to this, and her recovery from that was terrible. I mean, she recovered great, but it took a while. Her recovery was bad. She wasn't up out of bed on the second day or anything of the sort. The second one was a scheduled one. They did not stress her with labor. They scheduled the C-section. She came home that evening. All right. So there's a major difference in the two. I hope that story helped you if you're in the waiting situation and you're wondering, because if she had a hard recovery the first time, that scheduled one goes much, much, much better.
Yeah.
And Gemma, welcome, Gemma. It is great to have you here, hon. And hey, Herman the Great, how are you, sir? This is flashback from the past today. I'm getting a lot of old original community members coming in and visiting, and it's just so awesome to see all you guys. It's so cool. And Canoe Hound, welcome, brother. Now, let me put you on the spot one more time, man. Did you think of an answer for if you had a message to give your great-grandchildren?
Basically, just don't worry about what everyone thinks about you. You think about yourself, what makes you happy, and that's what's going to get you through life. That's how I made it through my life. If I worried about everything that anyone said or was doing about me, I wouldn't be here today. Well,
that all has some very valid points, without a doubt. You talked about your most troublesome outdoor adventure. Do you have one that sticks in your mind as your most exciting, most eventful, the best?
Actually, just recently, one of my most exciting ones was we went camping. It was like the last camping trip of the season this year, or last year, and all the kids caught their first fish.
Oh, and that is awesome. That's loads of fun. That is loads of fun. And Gemma, awesome. Thank you, hon. You rock, Gemma. And all right, Canoe Hound, awesome. So first fish, were they catching? What were they catching? Sunnies, or were they catching? Did they catch into something big or what?
All four of them, they were probably about just little rainbow trout.
All right, sweet. But that's awesome, man. You're talking 6-8 inches for a kid. That's a whopper, man. That's I love it. I remember. I'll tell a quick story. Yankee telling stories, go figure. But my daughter's first fish, I'm gonna tell on her, and if her fiance there is watching, he'll probably get a great kick out of this because she probably never told him. But her first fish she caught was a largemouth bass, a 16-inch largemouth bass. Now, she couldn't pull this size fish in, and you got to understand, she wasn't fishing for this size fish. I was fishing, and there was a bunch of small, just like little small pan size and smaller bluegill all along the shore. Okay. So I hooked her up with a small pole and a worm, and she's just sitting over there doing one of these things, bouncing that thing back, trying to catch one of them little fish. And all of a sudden, she hollers, "Oh, she got one!" And it's so light she could pull it up. It's the little fish was hanging on there, and she dropped it back down in the water. And she's doing this again. And all of a sudden, she screams all at once that she needed help. And I looked over, and her little pole was like, whoo, bent completely in half. And I'm like, what? And I said, pull back on it. And when she did, honestly, the fish just kind of darted forward. And when she pulled back, she just shot him onto the land. He just like shot onto the land, and she caught this fish all by herself, landed it by herself and everything. But when I got to it to help her, the spurs from the bluegill is what was stuck in his gills, and that's what caught him. He wasn't on no hook. He was on that bluegill, man. He caught that bluegill. It's a beautiful fish. And the story that my daughter probably didn't want me to say, I'll say. And the first thing she did when she caught it was insist on kissing it. So I let her kiss it. You can kiss the fish. You can kiss the fish. No worries. So she did kiss the fish, and we did let it go. We weren't eating fish that day. Teach your children to hunt and fish. Surviving is important. And Joy, you got that right. And it's in my opinion, it's the most innocent fun you can give a kid. It's way better than any video games that they could ever play. Actually get out and interact with the world.
Hold on.
There's the boss.
That was one of them, a little daughter.
All right, bro. Well, let's see. We'll head back to this list here. Let me ask you this. This is a popular question it also feeds into another show that I do, but do you believe in Bigfoot? And you can answer that as broad or as quick as you like.
I'm not gonna say I don't believe, because I definitely believe there is some shit out there.
There's
like our forests. There is so much forest that has been unexplored that you have no idea what is even in that forest area. Like you see, they're still finding new species of bugs and whatnot all over the place. Like, awesome. I'm not saying I don't believe, and I'm not saying I do believe, but I do believe there is some crazy stuff out there.
There's stuff out there. All right, man. And I see here in the comment section, Herman the Great mentions he remembers catching his first fish when he was 5 years old. And those are, I mean, my daughter was young. She was in that probably under 5. But she'll still tell you she remembers it. She remembers it plainly, because those are big things for a kid. That's bigger than getting points on a video game.
Well, the funny thing about when my kids caught their fish, my daughter, Joy, just said hi to her there. But yeah, my daughter, Addie, she was 4. She just turned 5. But when she caught her fish, I was even trying to fish that day, and I couldn't catch anything. So after she caught her fish, that was it. Little Miss Cocky came out, and she's like, "Okay, Dad, let me go show you how to catch the big fish."
I love it. That's awesome, though. Hello, Northern Ohio Railroad. Welcome, my friend. So we talked about favorite location. Hey, how would you describe your perfect day?
Oh, my perfect day would be me and my family out in the bush fishing, just sitting there.
Awesome.
Just any day in the bush is a good day.
I can remember with my family is those packing up and going to sit at the lake or go sit at the river or go and maybe you'd swim a little bit, maybe you'd run by to Save Lots and grab a package of hot dogs and buns, so the whole trip costs you $2 while you're out
Yeah.
there. I mean, but I mean, some of the best times had are doing that little simple stuff.
Yep.
God, when I had kids, I think we always had a small Apache grill in the trunk, because you never knew if you were going to go to a spot where you could definitely have the fire, depending on time of year and stuff where we were at. So we were always prepared to do that, because it would be on the blue, let's go, or driving down the road. That looks like a really nice spot. Let's go down there and hang out, and I think it's really great for the kids.
Yeah. When we pack up, well, right now we have 4 kids, soon to be 5 kids. So when we pack up to go do something, we're basically packing half a house to go.
The Winds beat video games any day. I definitely have to agree with that. And Gemma's saying hi. And Northern Railroads, hello. Anybody has any questions? If I missed anything, don't be afraid to hit me again there. In your life in general, man, give me 3 people that have been most influential to you.
First and foremost, my dad. He was always the one that we did outdoors. He played lots of baseball and hockey, so I basically spent a lot of the time growing up at the hockey rink or the baseball field. My grandma, she honestly was the strongest person I have ever met in my life. Nothing fazed that little old lady. She had taught me a lot about basically just mental strength and stuff like that. It was, even when my grandpa passed away, she was the strongest person at that whole funeral. It blew my mind.
Awesome.
And the other one I'd have to say is my wife. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be going day to day like this. I don't know where I'd be right now.
Hey, man, a good woman grounds us without a doubt. It's needed. All right, man. So speaking of your family, like you did, these are kind of questions that maybe get you to think a little bit outside of the box. But how would you say your family and friends describe you if I were to ask them to tell me about you?
I don't think I'm allowed to say it on the stream.
That's my answer too when I asked that. It's like, well, yeah, probably not too good. Boom, Wood Pigeon is in the house. Hello, Wood Pigeon. Another fellow Canadian in the house there.
It's funny. I'm seeing a lot of channels that I used to follow when I first started YouTube.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think I get really widespread topics on my channel. I do a lot of different stuff. I always tell people that ask me about my channel, I always tell them is open the playlist section and see if there's something you like, because you'll probably be blown away with the wide variety that I do talk about. If I were to label my channel one thing overall, I think it would be educational. I think I always try to stay on an educational platform. And on that note, what would you say if I were to ask you one word to describe your channel? What would it be?
Oh man, my channel's all over the place. Entertaining.
Entertaining. There you go. Also, entertainment, man. That's awesome. I think you might hit that educational platform as well. I think a lot's to be said when you're doing the cooking with your daughter. I think a lot's to be said about that and being a lesson for a lot of other families that doing those interactive things with your kids is a way to bond with your kids in a great way. And Joy says, no F-bombs here today, Troy. And they can slip. If they slip,
I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying.
I tried to maintain a YouTube platform, but YouTube was actually really open about this topic. And we're near the end of this video. We're not in the beginning. So that already is a plus for if an F-bomb drops. And the fact that YouTube clarified it as excessive. So my dad, I don't know, y'all didn't know my dad, but my dad used the F word excessively. And what I mean by that is literally every word, every other word to every third word was the F bomb. I mean, he'd say one simple sentence and he dropped the F-bomb 4 times saying it, and it's like you tilt your head at him. That's excessive in my opinion. If somebody slips here and there, there's no harm. There's no foul to your channel for that. It's more important to keep that out of your chat room, believe it or not, than it is to keep an occasional slip here in the video.
Yeah,
where is Caribou from? He said he's up north Canada there, Wood Pigeon.
Northern British Columbia.
Educate on how to get you drunk. If people had to describe me, they would say a chatterbox. Very focused and know what she wants. That's awesome. That's how I see you, Gemma. I do believe. I believe you are. You have goals, and I believe you honestly set yourself to work for them, and which is great. That's great, and that's a good image that you give off. And to you as yourself, if you were to step outside of yourself and have to describe yourself, what would you say?
Wow.
Well, now you personally. So let's get a little deeper to this, because you can't honestly feel you're that bad of a person. So,
No.
How would you describe yourself?
Honestly, fun, energetic. I don't know. I'd love to hang out with myself.
There you go. Guys, and that's not a conceited attitude. Actually, that's probably one of the best attitudes anyone can have for yourself. One person in the entire life you're never going to shake is you. That's it. You are you. So to come to terms and to be at ease in all of the life that's around you, it's got to start with coming to terms with you. It really does. So there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great attitude to have. If I had to describe myself, I am uniquely weird, but I'm friendly, honest, and trustworthy. Yes, Gemma, great words for you also. Honest, trustworthy. I think those are valuable words to me as well. When I'm my hardest critic, which I have to watch that isn't a negative. I'm very outspoken about you have to create your positive image as well as your positive perspective to achieve positive in your life. Now, that doesn't mean negative won't get in, but what it means is how you deal with it. So when I am being skeptical of myself, I try to remind myself that I'm not judging myself. I'm trying to pick out something to improve upon and to make it a good reason to not like myself. Okay. So, so to speak, if there is ever such a thing, I swear. Oh, God, Gemma, honey, you and me both. That's if I could change one thing about me, and that's what I'm going to ask you next, there, brothers. So get ready. If I could change one thing about me, it would be the fact that I wear my heart on my sleeve. If I trust you undyingly, and it's terrible because there's nobody you should ever trust that much except yourself. And it always sets you up for disappointment. It always sets you up for drop down when you put people on your side and on a stool. So, yeah, bro, what's one thing you would change about yourself if you could?
Basically the same thing. It's not my heart, but I do wear my pride on my sleeve. My whole family's always been like that, and there's times where it's hard for me to swallow my pride and suck it up and deal with what I got to deal with. But that is definitely one thing I'd like to change, because it's, like I said, sometimes it's difficult to even deal with it. And I get
Right.
told a lot, you need to just swallow your pride. I'm like, yeah, but that's not who I am.
Right. And pride could sometimes hurt us if we're too convicted to it, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's for me, it really comes down to a trust thing. As weird as it sounds, I analyze myself. It is a trust thing. When I feel I trust somebody, okay, because it's not really easy for me. A lot of people can talk to me, but for me to move you to an acquaintance, to a friend level, takes something special, okay. And I can't describe to you what that is. It's something that whatever happens over the relationship. When doing that, if I move you to that level, I trust you too much.
Yeah.
I trust you. And at that point, when you sit at this level, I'm really vulnerable to you, whoever you may be. I'm vulnerable to you. And really, it's hard for me at times because, man, I'm one of those dudes that you can say anything to. Like, you can walk up to me off the street and run me down head to toe. I'll laugh with you, and you won't get a poke out of me. It won't bother me. It's like, who cares what this guy thinks?
Yeah.
However, when you're sitting over here, I make a total flip switch on that, and I do care. And these people are vulnerable to hurt me because they don't realize that when they could attack me in the same manner this stranger just did, and I laughed, and it make me sick for a couple days. And it's that I wish I could shut that off. I really do. It's a hindrance to me. It's great for the people who honor and respect it, because God, I wind up placing you on a pedestal enough for you, and that's how I do with friends. It's too much. It is too much. Real men cry. Well, there you go. I'd imagine
when they're cutting onions.
Crying. It's like a native thing. It's not an embarrassment to cry. That's a soul pain. That's your soul's release of pain. That's not really. Like, it's not the same thing, A man can cry. And on the same note, if I was working with you and you just got shot with a nail gun, I'd kick you in the ass and tell you to suck it up, cupcake, if you dare cry.
Exactly.
No. But that's a man thing, though. But that doesn't mean that I don't think to look at it as a man. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing for a man to cry, but that's an internal pain. That's something. And may the spirits be with you on such a pain and such a quest. Let's see. Oh, where am I? What did I wear my heart? Inside my body where it does good. There you go. That's the best place. Yes, but being this way, it means people are open to being friends with us. Yeah, that's true. Issues chat about. Yeah, you're right, Gemma. 100%. You are right. Well, I try to run these about a half hour. I run it a little bit over because you were late, and that brought it. But we're up to that point. Joy, if you were me, is there anything you would have asked me that I didn't ask you?
No, actually, you pretty much asked everything I would have asked.
Well, All right, good. Guys, remember the description is in the link. Troy, do you have anything you want to say to the viewers before we back out of here?
I just want to answer Wood Pigeon there. So far where I am living, we are not on lockdown.
And that is a concern.
Could change pretty quick here.
Yeah, it's a concern everywhere. In case anybody's watching this in an old replay at that point, we are still in our COVID lockdowns here and there across the world, I'd have to say. It never really was a terrible lockdown here, but to me personally, I'm a shut-in when it comes to socialization. I don't like the word shut-in because that implies I'm not outside, but I am outside. I'm just not socializing, and that's never been a problem for me to not socialize. So
I'm the same way.
The biggest thing I had to get used to is throwing a mask on when I run into a convenience store. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was already doing grocery pickup before the coronavirus hit. In public, I always tried to stay 6 feet away from people before the coronavirus hit. It's just, there's no need to cramp nobody. Everybody should have a little room. So I don't know. I always say I was doing the social distancing when social distancing just wasn't cool, but I was doing it way back then. I was a man ahead of my time.
That's one of the main reasons we live where we live. I can't even, like, our town where I live, it's a small town. There's probably maybe 3,000 population. And I hate even going into town. That's too many people for me. I can't stand it. And we got to go to the big city. You can tell when we're getting closer to the city, my attitude starts to change. I start getting grumpy because I know what I'm going into. There's thousands of people everywhere, and I got to deal with this.
Right. Hey, Peter Parker, welcome, my friend. You're on time whenever you show up. It's never a worry. If you would like to know Caribou Outdoors better, of course, you can follow the link and find his channel. Or if you're coming in, catching the tail end of this, play back through the video and see if maybe I answered a question here that he doesn't answer on his show. Who knows? You never know. I think that's it, man. Again, thank you, Troy, for being here today. Let me see, Colin, very awesome. A lot of awesome stuff in this.
I want to give Half Pace another shout out there. You guys really should go check out his channel. The guy deals with a spinal cord injury, so his legs don't work like everyone else's do. And this guy is out there hiking in the bush. He runs a trap line. That's Half Pace Outdoors in Homestead.
Half Pace Outdoors, right? And Half Pace. Let me extend an invitation right here. And this is I'm gonna close on this, guys. By the way, so because we're done here for the day. And
I appreciate it, Yankee.
What's that?
Appreciate you having me up here, man. Thanks everyone that came in today.
Awesome, man, and thank you. But let me say, it was Half Pace Outdoors. Let me extend an invitation to you to be on an episode of Outdoor Enthusiast Live. And to anyone else listening, if you want to be on the show, you just got to get a hold of me. There's all kinds of contact information in my About section. I prefer you to use the Instagram or the Twitter. However, if you have to email, make sure you use that subject line and let me know. And I'll try not to lose you in the spam. And guys, you're all invited, but definitely, if you've never done anything on the show before and you're anywhat new to the community, I'm going to really encourage you to come on because I think that's where you're going to benefit the most. Nice day. You have a great day also. And great. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks there, Troy. You can hang on a second. And everybody, until the trails meet again, I hope all your adventures are awesome. Benishita for watching. And